The Battle of Santa Cruz de Tenerife, 1797. A comprehensive summary. Strategic importance of Tenerife. Tenerife, the largest of the Canary Islands, held immense strategic value in the late 18th century. Its location off the northwest coast of Africa made it a crucial maritime crossroads for ships traveling between Europe, Africa, and the Americas. The island served as a vital stopover for Spanish treasure fleets carrying gold, silver, and other commodities from the Americas to Europe, and its ports were essential for resupplying and repairing ships before or after the Atlantic crossing. Control of Tenerife would allow a naval power to monitor, intercept, or protect fleets moving between continents, making it a linchpin in the Spanish Empire's transatlantic trade network and a prime target for rival powers like Britain. Forces involved: British Forces Commander, Rear Admiral Horatio Nelson. Strength: nearly 4,000 men, including sailors and marines. Naval assets: a squadron comprising HMS Theseus, flagship, HMS Culloden, HMS Zealous, all 74 gunships, frigates HMS Seahorse, HMS Emerald, HMS Terpsichore, the cutter Fox, the mortarboat Ray, and later HMS Leander, 50 guns. Spanish Forces Commander, Lieutenant General Antonio Gutierrez de Otero y Santayana, not General Juan de la Torre, as sometimes mistakenly reported. Strength: approximately 1,700 defenders, including regular soldiers, local militia, artillerymen, sailors, and even some French allies. Defensive assets: 91 gun positions, reinforced fortifications, notably San Cristobal Castle, Paso Alto Castle, and several coastal batteries, and active civilian participation. Key events of the battle prelude and British plan. After two failed attempts to land and capture key positions, Nelson devised a bold plan for a night assault. The objective was to land under cover of darkness, surprise the defenders, and seize the main fortification, San Cristobal Castle, thereby taking control of the port. The night assault, July 24 to 25, 1797. Landing attempt. At 10:30 p.m. on July 24th, Nelson personally led a flotilla of boats toward the harbor, aiming for stealth with cloth-padded oars. The force included about 700 men in boats, 180 in the cutter Fox, and 80 in a captured local sloop. Spanish response. The Spanish frigate San Jose fired an alarm shot, alerting the defenders. As the British approached, they came under intense cannon and musket fire from multiple batteries. The cutter Fox was sunk by crossfire, resulting in the drowning of its commander and 17 men. Urban combat. Some British troops managed to land and briefly captured a battery, but were soon repulsed by heavy fire. Many boats drifted off course due to strong currents and lack of local knowledge. British Marines and sailors faced fierce resistance from both soldiers and armed civilians firing from house terraces and windows. Nelson's injury. As Nelson landed, he was struck in the right arm by a musket ball, shattering his humerus and severing the brachial artery. He was evacuated to HMS Theseus, where his arm was amputated. British forces trapped and surrender. Encirclement. British detachments that reached the town were quickly surrounded. Captains Trubridge and Hood, with about 350 men, occupied La Consolacion convent but were cut off from reinforcements. Negotiated. Truce. With no hope of escape and under heavy fire, the British requested a truce. General Gutierrez agreed, allowing the British to withdraw with their arms and honors, provided they left the island. Outcome and immediate aftermath: casualties: side killed, wounded, captured. Outcome: British 250, 128, 300 defeated. Withdrew Spanish 30, 40, 40, 50, 0 victorious, held port. The British suffered heavy losses, including the wounding and subsequent amputation of Nelson's right arm. The Spanish, by contrast, had relatively light casualties. Immediate consequences. British withdrawal. The British fleet withdrew in defeat, having failed to capture the port or disrupt Spanish operations. The negotiated truce allowed them to leave with dignity, but without achieving their objectives. Spanish triumph. The successful defense was a source of great pride for the Spanish. General Gutierrez was celebrated as a hero, and Santa Cruz was granted the title Muy leal, noble e invicta villa, very loyal, noble, and unconquered town. Impact and historical significance on British naval strategy. The defeat at Santa Cruz de Tenerife was a rare setback for the Royal Navy and highlighted the dangers of amphibious assaults against well-defended positions. It led to a reassessment of British tactics, emphasizing the need for better coordination, intelligence, and logistical preparation in future operations. The Royal Navy increasingly focused on fleet actions and blockades, where its strengths could be more effectively leveraged. On Nelson's career. Despite the defeat and his severe injury, Nelson's reputation for courage and leadership was enhanced. His resilience in returning to command after losing his arm became legendary, and the experience may have contributed to his later tactical innovations and willingness to take calculated risks, as seen at the Nile and Trafalgar. The battle became a defining moment in Nelson's career, symbolizing both the perils of war and the indomitable spirit that would make him one of Britain's greatest naval heroes. On the broader conflict. The Spanish victory secured the Canary Islands as a vital link in Spain's Atlantic trade and colonial communications, boosting morale locally and across the Spanish Empire. For Britain, the defeat was a sobering reminder of the challenges posed by well-prepared defenders and the importance of strategic planning in colonial and naval warfare. In summary, the Battle of Santa Cruz de Tenerife in 1797 was a dramatic and pivotal episode in the Anglo-Spanish conflicts of the late 18th century. The island's strategic importance drew a major British assault, but the well-coordinated Spanish defense, led by General Gutierrez, resulted in a decisive Spanish victory. The battle's outcome had lasting effects on British naval strategy and the career of Admiral Nelson, whose personal sacrifice and leadership became the stuff of legend.